Frank Sinatra was actually a bad singer. Here's why. 2 words, Don Ho. We'll get to him in a sec, but if you're a TikTok addict who's never heard of Frank Sinatra, let me explain. Frank Sinatra was born in Hobo City, New Jersey. He was a famous mobster whose side gig was singing, and he was a big story with the FBI, who collected 2,403 pages on him. Probably because he was friends with JFK and was apparently a commie, but who cares about the details? Anyway, Sinatra made some pretty decent songs, like New York, New York, although that one is quite irrelevant nowadays. A couple others were It Was a Very Good Year, Accidents Will Happen, and Witchcraft. Anyway, let's get to the reason why you clicked on the video. So basically, there was this dude named Don Ho. Yes, that was his actual name. He was legit the big kahuna of Honolulu. He was the only person keeping Hawaii alive at the time. And unlike Frank, Don Ho's main thing was singing, while his side job was dropping bombs somewhere during World War II. They were also both misfits from the rest of the American forces. But Don Ho was German and Sinatra was Italian, so they made a good team, if you know what I mean. Now here's the thing. Don Ho absolutely hated cold weather, so he never wanted to move to those big cities like New York or Chicago to get a name in singing, so he took the short end of the stick and stuck to being a singer from Hawaii. And then we have Frank Sinatra's voice, which was actually really, really bad, but he was great at writing music. So this is what happened. Frank Sinatra and Don Ho were actually a music duo, just under Frank's name. Frank would write the music and Don Ho would sing. It was going great until Frank went into acting, which Don didn't like. As Frank focused more on his acting career, Don just started drinking, and a lot of it. One night in 1998, Don Ho was singing at a tiki bar during a nightly performance at the piano. Due to some health issues with his heart, well, actually, Don Ho didn't give 2 shits about his heart. He just kept singing. Since Don would always drink scotch during these kinds of performances, the bartender knew exactly what to give him when he walked in, but tonight was different. There was a new bartender at the tiki bar. Oblivious to this, Don Ho, who still was not giving 2 shits about his heart or anything, sat down at the piano and snapped his fingers at the bartender for his drink. And you know what the bartender gave him? Devil Springs vodka, one of the most lethal beverages on the planet. As Don took a sip of this vodka, his life flashed before his eyes. Hating the cold, dropping the bomb somewhere, writing songs with Frank Sinatra as they were dropping the bombs out the plane, again, somewhere. Watching Johnny Carson spill milk all over Frank's pants on national television. Don had one more thing to do. Don Ho got up from his piano bench, giving a smirk to the bartender, and revealed his superpowers to the masses. He was Superman. Hawaiian Superman, that is. Donnie had heightened senses from the vodka and knew exactly where Frank was. Conveniently, it was just a few miles away. Don flew down and snatched Frank Sinatra off the ground, losing his fedora along the way. And Frank was astonished. And then Frank realized he was falling right into the waters near Pearl Harbor. He died instantly as soon as he hit the water. And Don had finally completed everything he wanted to do in life. Drop the bomb, literally. Kiss a bunch of hula dancers at the same time. Drink the most dangerous drink ever brewed, and get more life out of it. And finally, drop-kick Frank Sinatra into Pearl Harbor. Don now knew that his life was coming to a close, so he picked up an ukulele and sang his hit song, Tiny Bubbles. His final words were, "And here's a kiss that will not fade away." Now he didn't kiss anyone, which is kind of a bruh moment, but we don't worry about that. It's the end of his song, who cares, just let him have it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to make sure Don Ho doesn't come back from the dead and throw you into Pearl Harbor, as he did with Frank.